Can you all hear me? On behalf of all of us assembled here, on behalf of myself, and on behalf of all the trustees of Satsang Charitable Trust, let us offer ourselves our most humble pranams in love and gratitude at Swami's divine lotus feet. We pray to Swami to be with us, as always, at all times, and guide us to enjoy this beautiful evening with a brother of ours who has traveled from India to be with us and share his joy, his love, his experiences, his insights, having lived with Swami for so many years. You know, we all need friends in life. friends are an important part in our life. We enjoy their company, we enjoy spending time with them. If you're tired and you want to share something with anyone, then friends play such an important role in our life. So, remember with the Bhakti Margas, the 9 paths of devotion, the aspiration of a devotee is to merge in the Lord. So the final step is Atmanivedana. Before this total surrender happens, the step below that is Sathya, or friendship. So friendship forms such an important aspect of one's relationship with God, one's relationship with this universe. And I can only describe this brother of ours as the friend of God. He is the one, and the beauty of it is, God has chosen him to be his friend. What a wonderful thing to actually have a person who God has chosen as his friend. I don't know how many of you have noticed, but whenever Swami was in the company of Brother Satyajit, Swami's face had a beautiful smile on his face. Swami always looked so happy whenever Satyajit was with him. When you go to Prashant Nilayam, even in our flyer, I think you can see even in that photograph, just one photograph of thousands, that Swami seems very comfortable. Swami seems very relaxed, and Swami is very happy whenever Satyajit was with Swami. The other thing is also the companionship. For all of us in life, we see that in the, with our companions, with our friends and family, we feel very happy. And again, I can only describe Satyajit. I'm sure all of you agree that he was the companion of the Lord. Swami, in his company, I'm sure he would share with us, Swami has trained him. There is no other way to put it. Swami has trained him to be the person he is, the leader he is, the friend he is, the confidant he is. So much so that, big corporations in India, the Tata corporations and things like that, they have actually chosen him because he was trained by the Lord. And he worked for the Tata Sons in the field of education for a long time. And he continues to work with great Sai devotees who are leading the education mission all over the world because he has been trained by Swami. To have such a friend of God, to have such a companion of God, and to have such a trained person, trained and sculpted by none else than our dear Swami. To have that is a great privilege for us. And dear brother Satyajit, we really feel very happy and very proud that you have come all the way from India to be with us. I invite you on stage. I have known Brother Satyajit obviously for quite some time, but in the last 2 days that he has been here and we have interacted, we see his love for his family. His wife, Satyajit Salian, is here. Sairam, and welcome on behalf of all of us to London. And also your Satyajit's and your beautiful daughter Ananya sitting by your side. Yes, wonderful. I mean, I can only say that Ananya has been here in UK for some time now, and we were having breakfast after he landed, and he was waiting for his daughter to come, and I could see the father, really so eager to meet the daughter, and when he met, the joy on his face and the joy on his daughter's face was just amazing to see that. So to have such a wonderful family, as well as Satyajit along with you, spending time with us here is a beautiful experience for all of us. So this evening session, we thought during your registration, there was, when you registered, if you had any questions to ask, we requested everybody to, sort of, if you had a question to put forth, so that we can have an interactive session with our dear brother. And lots of questions have come through. So we thought, rather than just a speech or a talk, we would have a session where we would interact and we would put the questions that you have to Brother Satyajit, and through that, all wired up now. And this evening session is another session of wiring up with divine. Keep the connection going. Is there an echo, isn't it? Just looking at, just to give you an idea about the time, how we would organize that. So it's about 5:45 now. For the next 45, 50 minutes, we will have a session, and then we will take a short break during which time, if you want to grab a hot drink, then you can, and then come and be seated in your seats. And then after wind up session where Satyajit would share some thoughts, and we may have a few more questions which we can put to him and learn from that. I hope that is okay with you. Absolutely. Satyajit. Yes. So this is your first time in London interacting with the Sai family. Is that right? Yes, it is. You've spoken all around the world. You've been to the United States a few times, various other countries, Malaysia, Singapore. But for the first time, we're having you in United Kingdom. That is, again, a wonderful experience for all of us. So thank you for coming here. How did you become a Sai person?
Firstly, offering my loving pranams at the lotus feet of our most beloved Bhagawan. The videos were really overwhelming to see Swami up close, to see the love of the devotees' eyes for him. Those videos were really, really touching. So thank you for organizing everything so beautifully. All of us have had our own paths to Swami, and I don't think we can ever say that how did we become a devotee. I mean, there were those pools of Bhagavan were invisible. For me, obviously, the pull was of the education, and it was much before that when I remember my father once used to make me meditate at a very tender age. I used to sit, and my biggest challenge at that point of time was, as a 7-year-old probably, was how not to scratch when he make me to sit without, so that was the biggest challenge in my life, to prevent the scratch and kind of a thing. So I was a 7-year-old, and that's when one fine day my father asked me a question: do you want to see God? And my biggest worry was that if I say yes, he will make me meditate more. And 7-year-old, but fortunately for me, he showed me a picture of Swami. He said that this is God on earth. So that was my first introduction to Baba, to Swami. And then it started making sense that who was that person whose photo was on, not in the center of the altar, but on one side of the altar. And from there he became the center of the altar and the center of our hearts as the years passed by. So that was my first introduction. But a year later, a couple of years later, I got a chance to come to Patti. I was a 10-year-old boy. Had the first Pad Namaskar. I had the opportunity of diving and picking up the sand from the floor on which Swami's footprint was there. So those were my 10-year-old's experience of interacting with the divine. When I came back, these are all the external aspects somebody telling, but the first interaction that I remember was a dream as a 10-year-old boy after we had come back from Patti, where I dreamt I was sitting in Prashant Nilayam and making a mound of sand. And I was, as I was playing with the sand, I was worried that somebody is going to come and scold me. And to my absolute fear, Swami started coming walking towards me in the dream. And I was at a tiny thought looking up at Swami, terrified that he was shouted, because I know that all the footprints around have gone away and I've made it into a big mound of sand. And Swami comes close, looks at me down, and then sits down and starts making the sand with me. The sand with me. That for a 10-year-old is the interaction of becoming a devotee. So we have multiple experiences of big miracles making us into devotees. For me, that was the connect as a 10-year-old tiny thought. So that's how the journey began. Got multiple. As we go on, we'll talk about more.
Do you remember the first time you saw Swami? I mean, in a physical way.
Yes, and that was the. I was too young. I was, as I said, 10 years old, spending 1 week of having Swami's darshan as a 10-year-old. But the impression wasn't. The focus was more on getting that sand and so that the childish thing. But when I got an admission to Swami's institution, that push was always there, saying that I need to, after my 12th class, I was asked to apply to Patti. I did not want to because all my friends were in Bombay. And I promised my mother, who was crying when we were leaving for the admissions, for the entrance exam. I promised my mother, "Mommy, why are you crying? Don't worry. He's forcing me to go for the entrance exam, but the entrance is going to be written by me. I'll see you in 4 days. I'll fail. I'll flunk the exam and come back." So that's the determination of a 17-year-old boy who doesn't want to leave his worldly. Today we use the word worldly, but that's the entire universe for us at 17, right? So all my friends, and that's the only thing existence as a 17-year-old. I'm sure there are 17-year-olds here, but then when I saw the place, even before I saw Swami, as a 17-year-old, first was the institutions that he had built, right? The love that gets created, and that's the duty of each one of us, to create institutions, to create something concrete that reflects all the love that we have in our hearts, and that's what Swami has done. Just looking at that place, I fell in love, and my mind was transformed. I wanted to desperately be a Sai student. Desperation. I remember, serving in the canteens, dripping in sweat, hoping that somebody or the other who's going to be the decision maker will see me, the good boy serving, and everything that needed to be done. Sitting around, I still remember in one of those round blocks, sitting outside the round blocks in the hot sun, mugging up the physics and the chemistry entrance preparations, and the struggle to get closer, and the joy of being selected in the entrance exam and getting called for an interview, going to the interview with Professor Sampath. These were the Tirupati steps that we are talking about, right? These were all the steps that you need to climb as a student to be there. And finally got in. I was absolutely confident for some reason that I'll get in, and I told my dad, I did the interview well, I'll get in. So how do you know that you did the interview well? I don't know, but I'll get it. Right? So this was the inner confidence. And 18th of May, I think 1991, I still remember those dates, the red letter dates. We went to the hostel. I had very, very sadly lost my mustache, which was one of the most precious things to a 17-year-old, right? There was a new person, new youngster, going into the ashram, going into the Vrindavan hostel, and we had gone with our bags and our suitcases. I looked into the room. It was a long room, which is meant for about 15 people, and there were 30 of us packed like sardines there. We had those exactly 6 feet by 2 feet or 6 feet, the final graveyard space that you need. That much space was allotted to each one of us. That's what the body needs. So very, very clearly. And we settled down, and suddenly there were thuds and thunders and running. That's how boys run. When the boys run, there's an earthquake that happens, and that's the attraction of Baba. And I realized what's happening. I'm trying to figure out, and I realized that Swami had come. My first darshan is this. It's so dramatic, right? And I was on the first floor. I went down. The whole staircase was chock-a-block with boys trying to peep. And then I got a chance to peep down. Swami was standing down there. My imagination, even now when I recall that, was the imagination of Swami in the center and all the boys around him. It was a pulsating heart of orange in the middle and white and all the colors going front and back. It's like a beautiful pulsating heart flower there. What was actually happening there was the boys in the front row were fighting for their life not to fall on Swami and pushing back, and the boys from the back were pushing front, right? So that was the cause of the pulsation. But for me, from that aerial view, was a pulsating heart. That was my first darshan of Swami, right? And so very, very first darshan, as I remember it, etched in my mind was this: the attraction, the attractive power of the Divine Master, the way he could attract young hearts to him. Right? And yet the young hearts stopping before they hit the final merger and pushing back. Right? And this is what all spiritual aspirants go through, is it not? That you want to be close, but then when Swami says, "I will give you moksha now. Are you ready?" No, Swami, I've got responsibilities. And this is, but I saw it practically as a of course, I didn't have that interpretation then. Interpretation comes as the years go by, much later.
So what was the first time that Swami spoke to you, or you spoke to Swami? What was that, and how did that come about?
The first darshan, I remember when we had a formal darshan of when he was giving the admit cards or the cards for the summer course. I remember Swami, I was sitting in the end of a line and he was going around giving it to everybody. This was in the beautiful lawns of the Prairie Vrindavan, lush green lawns, grass like cushion, and we were seated there. And I was in the last, and Swami came, he put his hand on my head, and he used my head as a support to turn, as he turned round. So as if he turned my head in the right direction. Is the interpretation that came later. Right? But I was like so happy that he had put his head. That was the first physical contact. No acknowledgement of my existence. But on the fourth day, by the fourth day, I had already made my friends in the hostel, and birds of a feather flock together, as they say. I somehow managed to find Bombay friends. We came together, and we would, sad to say, but we had already started singing good old Hindi songs in the hostel, and seniors were like flabbergasted. What are these guys doing? This guys might get kicked out, and we were inviting some of the good bhajan singers to come. Brother, please sing. And we didn't know. We know nothing, right? We are just fresh out of the hostel, and the chattering mind continues. The chattering of the mind continues. The momentum doesn't slow down, and that's the beauty of the Divine Master. He does not. Many times we say that he takes up a stone, and that's the analogy that I have given many times. He picks up a stone and sculpts it. He actually takes a galloping stallion and redirects it. Right? He takes a running train. That's what we are. We are all filled with our emotions, rushing towards our own goal, rushing towards our own purpose that we have designed for ourselves, and not even going towards the purpose. We are running helter skelter, but just in the need to be in the movement. That's what life is all about for us. When we are not directed, when we don't have a clear direction in life. But he holds that momentum and takes it. So for me, the momentum was the fun and the joy and noisiness of Bombay, and I was continuing the same journey for 4 days. And I remember at the breakfast table, breakfast serving table, we didn't have tables, of course. So the floor was our table, right? That kind of a thing. I told my friend Sai Krishna, क्या यार सिर्फ 4 इडली देते हैं, मैं घर पे 10 इडली खाता था. What, they're just giving 4 idlis and I used to eat 10 idlis at home. That was my quintessential Sai moment for me. I told that whisper to my friend. I mean, in spite of all the bravado, we don't have the guts to talk it loudly. Just whisper to my friend. Went, sat for darshan. I still remember the 4th line. It was the 4th day, 4 idlis, 4th line. Swami came out of the door and looked straight at me. And when Swami looks at you, you saw the videos. When Swami is looking at that boy and talking to him, you know that there is a connection there. So from far, from around that door, that screen, from that distance, he looked at me, and everybody around me started nudging me, saying, "Swami looked at you, man. Swami looked at you." So 4th day, 4th line, 4 at least 4 inches above the ground, right? And I was super elated. Swami saw this and he went for darshan, and everybody was pushing me, higher and higher. Let's say, "Swami looked at you, man." I didn't know what was to come. He came back, and on the way back from a distance, he looked at me again and asked, "What's for breakfast?" And the first word that Swami spoke to me, I did not understand. Right? And I was just I knew that he had spoken to me. I was up, and everybody else shouted around, "Swami, idli, idli, idli." And I realized, Swami's question was, "What's for breakfast?" I said, "Swami, idli, Swami." He told, "How many idlis?" I heard it as how many days. Fortunately, it was 4. 4 was the answer for both. So, even dances sometimes get the right answer. So I told Swami 4. And he took, for effect, he's my daughter is a film producer, film director, to be. So he is the master director. So he takes that 4 steps ahead. And he looks at me straight and says, "10 idli khata hai?" "Do you want to eat 10 idlis?" You can imagine what happens to the 17-year-old, right, at that point of time. My friend, my partner in crime, was next to me. He used to have thick glasses. I was worried. I made fun of that. I was happy that you had glasses, man. Otherwise, your eyes would have popped out. He was terrified. He was distancing himself from me, right, saying that, if you want to it. Because it's a whisper to a friend, and yet he is saying, "10 idli khata hai." The impact that he has on a young mind, he knows how to make impact, how to make an entry into somebody's life, right? And for me, that was not just an acknowledgement of him listening to my conversation. It was an answer to many of my prayers, many of my questions, not prayers. Those questions. I was 17. I had stopped praying by then. Because at 17, you know the world. I mean, come on, you're like too old to pray. You pray as a young boy. You are disciplined. You know that you should go. And after 10th, because till my 10th, I was having this conversation with Swami. I remember my 10th class standing in front of the photograph and shouting, "Swami, I got 80%, I got 80%," sharing the joy. But after that, 11th and 12th, I started asking. I'm talking to that photograph for 7 years now, but is it really listening? Right? And this was an answer. Not only do I listen to your barking at my photograph, I also listen to your nonsense you speak to your friends' ears. Whispers. So that's the impact, brother. So that's how he enters. He makes the mega entry, and then he stops speaking. He hardly spoke to me for the next 5 years, 1 or 2 interactions for 5 years, and then he picked me up speak about it.
I was going to, so you went on, so you joined for your BSc in chemistry, and then you went on to do your MSc in chemistry, and then an MBA from Swami's University. And you just now revealed to us that for 5 years after that initial one, you haven't, Swami hadn't spoken to you. I mean, like devotees or even students when we were there, the attraction of the divine is so much that you all want to be close. So all of us here in this room would trade anything with you to have been as close to Swami as you were. So, because that's an aspiration of every devotee, right? So the question then comes, how do I get this opportunity? So maybe, is there a formula or is there a process or I don't know, really, And so so what was the journey like and what happened? Was it 98 or 2000? Around that time that we started?
96.
Yeah. So what's that journey, what's that process?
Of course, if only Dhruva's story was the same as Prahlada's, there would have been everybody would have followed that, right? Everybody has their own journey, so this is not a formula or the way to get Swami's love. This is my journey, that's all. This is what happened to this insignificant person who got picked up by Swami and continue to do some work of whatever significance it has today. But for me the journey was, when I look back, I like to think about what Mother Parvati would do to get the Lord's attention. The first version where she, where she's serving the Lord, and it is Kamadeva who comes and shoots, and the story, right, where Kamadeva is destroyed. So that means it is not from the external aspects that you can attract the Lord. It is your internal intense devotion that attracts the Lord, obviously. For me, all that external things were the dramatics, the sports, the bhangra, every single incident. So I knew that I was not a good singer, so I did not venture into the bhajan group. I was too noisy in my head to be a Vedam chanter at that point of time. But I was an athlete, so to get that proximity to Swami, I know that he would have to put a medal around my neck if I win a medal. If I win in sports. So high jump, I remember spending hours and hours together practicing high jump. I was the only person carrying all the stands and the rods to the ground alone, practicing for hours together. I somehow realized that I can dance reasonably well, so I learned Bharatanatyam there in the hostel. I was doing Kuchipudi, I was doing Kathak related things. So multiple times I got a chance to do Shiva Tandava in front of Swami alone in the entire stadium. So that was the highlight of my life, and I got those small proximities for him, but the heart was never fulfilled. Now I still remember when I was doing the Shiva Tandava, and this is a incident that I'll never forget. It was a beautiful. There was a teacher from Hyderabad who had come and he used to teach us, and I was a high jumper, as I said, and so he used to choreograph the dance to bring out my natural talent of jumping. And so in Shiva Tandava I used to do dhat takita, thira takita, and those steps he had made sure that I can show that. And I was practicing in the college dining hall. We used to practice that, and just before, few days before the actual sports meet, Swami had told us all to come to Purnachandra and show a demonstration. He wanted to see the rehearsals, and I did the whole dance. The first about 30-35 seconds of the dance I did that, and I panting and puffing. I went close to Swami, and Swami told, "Hey, come here," and he tells me, "Dekho Bangaru." Oh, there was one step where you take a front foot forward and the back foot you drag, and then you take the next foot forward, and it's a very, very elegant step that you do in the Kuchipudi style. And Swami says, don't drag your foot, lift and keep it. Don't drag your foot, lift it. Attention to small things, okay, the small details. He's telling you, don't drag your foot, lift and keep it, lift and keep it. And then, Swami, yes, Swami. I was so super happy that Swami has told me a step. He has looked at minute details and told me something. And I stepped back and I was standing, merging into the crowd. And I suddenly felt that my legs were wet. And I looked down, all my toes had got skinned, because we used to practice on the smooth surface of the dining hall in the hostel. Here it was the kadapa stones with that grains of sand. And had I done that step in the ground, I would have been in the hospital with but for me, I did not even know that I was hurt. Before my nerves sent the message to my brain that your legs are hurt, it is the master who has called me and said that don't do that step. Right? That was an interaction. Yes, of course, those interactions were there. But every time I would go for the birthday, I would, there would be no recognition. Right? I would be seated with a letter in my hand. There would be no recognition. It had come to a point where, as friends, we would say that, oh, you're going front for darshan today. Better take your ID card, man, because Swami may ask, who are you? Because we were non-existent at that point of time. So that agony was there. I still remember, after my birthday many a times, or the days that I would go slightly front and hope to give a letter, and it was not taken, I would rush back from the mandir, and run up the hill. I would climb the Hanuman hill, not from the road, but being the athlete, so climb it on the hill from the side. I would go up, sit behind and cry and cry and cry my heart out. Wipe my tears and go back and again put on the Bombay guy brave face in the hostel. You need to keep your your face. You have to keep you have your image to maintain. And I'm sure not just youngsters, but even the elders can appreciate this aspect in our own lives, that there is an agony, there's a craving for the master deep within, right? And that is what eventually gets which attracts the master, attracts the divine Lord.
Yearning.
That yearning is intense.
In fact, I remember Swami's poem where Swami says, how the young calf yearns for the mother.
Yes.
That's how we should say Sai, 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 and then he will say Hai, Hai, and then come to you.
Yes.
So it's that yearning to be and offering. I mean, whatever you do, as you say, if you recognize there is a talent as a dancer, then to offer that or to perfect it to such an extent that it will attract the divine attention.
Yes.
That you're offering it to Swami.
Correct.
So you think it's that yearning for those many years, which I'm thank you for sharing, because sometimes it's not very easy. As you said, we put on a macho face and saying, I'm a really strong devotee or whatever, and whereas that's...
I mean, it doesn't matter even if he doesn't talk to me, and the next athletic meet, he has to put the medal around my neck, right? And that's a given. So that arrogance is always there. And then when all that gets over, I still remember when I had finished the 5 years there and done all the 5 years. I had got 4 silver medals and a gold medal, and finally I got a gold medal. That year he did not distribute the prizes, right? And I did not have a gold medal around my neck from Swami's hand. And I still remember boycotting the prize distribution personal boycott, where the warden was supposed to distribute I told, who wants to take it from you, man? Right? So, because I was so hurt that one thing which I know was mine because of my effort was not given to me. So it's not the external effort. It is not that you may feel that that's what is attracting you to. It's not those peripheral talents. It's nothing of the periphery. You are not the body. You are not the mind. You are not the intellect. That aspect is always the key thing. It is the cry of the soul, the innermost self, which cries in agony. That is the only agony that the master listens to, that attracts. I mean, those are all peripheral, superficial things. That is not the source of the attraction. So I always keep thinking that because of that final drama in the 70th birthday, Swami started talking to me. And it took a long time for me to realize that that was not it. It was that inner yearning that continued to do that, and probably yearning over the years, over the lifetimes, that probably did that. The blessings of parents, blessings of multiple devotees, and his own grace,
Karuna.
Karuna. That's the only thing.
You just mentioned that until that 70th birthday drama when he started speaking to me. So obviously, and you also sort of said that it's not that he was not listening, but it's just that perhaps as a devotee or as a yearner or you were not aware, or we are not aware, and we constantly go through this, that years of prayers, and then you're not listening to me. Are you actually listening to what I'm saying? Because I'm not seeing any outcome for that.
Yeah.
But then when the time is right or whatever, it happens.
It just happens.
So there are two questions here. So how do you maintain that intensity when you're doubting whether he's actually listening to you or not? I presume I'm just answering that question to an extent on your behalf. You already told us that the first interaction was, he proved to you that he is listening to you.
Yes.
So he has given you that faith. And once that faith has happened, you just have to hold on to it steadfast.
Correct.
And then move on until he responds to you. There is no kind of giving up halfway. There's also Swami's poem
Yes,
there,
yes.
right? There's no point in giving up halfway. Pattina pattedo, pattanne pattitvi. You've held me tight. Until I respond, don't let go. So that's a very strong.
Very, very powerful.
So that moment when then after long years of penance, that's all I can call it, when Swami didn't speak to you and you still yearned for him. How did that come about? What happened?
Okay, so this was my final year, my 5 years. All the opportunities had already got exhausted, and it started dawning on me that this is my last year, right? And I had done my grunt work in dramatics. I used to act in many dramas, and I had done my various roles with that 2 dialogues, and I had played the role of the fifth brother, Nakula, the fourth brother of the Pandavas, not the Arjuna. So with only 1 dialogue in the whole drama, I can't. That was my dialogue. I had to try to lift, and I was very proudly doing that, but participating in the whole scene, and I mastered the art of the eyebrows, the crying. I had mastered that, so I should be expert in showing those agony faces. But done all those things, right? Paid my dues on that, and finally got that opportunity to act in 1 drama. In the final year, I got a role which was almost like the lead role in the drama, and that was the drama where I was playing the role of a father who has lost his wife and a daughter. And now he has got the news that his son has got a hole in his heart. So this was in 1995. The super specialty hospital had just been inaugurated, and the 4th year we were obviously, one of the things were this was 70th birthday, so lots of projects were coming up, and water project was going on. So one of the scenes in the drama was that people are dying of thirst. Another scene is my scene where I'm worried about my son's health, etc. So it was a build up to a crescendo of how the Divine Master comes and solves. So it's a beautiful drama that was created, and I was in that role. I had the good fortune of being directed by Anjali Devi Garu herself, and I still admire the way she could cry at the drop of a hat like that, at a snap of a finger. And her face, the whole facial muscles, every single muscle she had control with. And I would practice those things, and she had really put her heart and soul into Satyajit, no chala baga chestavu bangaru, no idi gattiga cheyali Swami chala, in her chaste Telugu she was telling, you should do this well, and she was really trying to mold me into that style of acting. And so I had 2 important roles in this drama. One was that shout at God, because shout the hell out of my goal was to reach the maximum of that amplifier, right? I used to go and check back, did I reach the top red in the amplifier? I used to go and check back. So I had to shout at the top of one, and second is like bring out every single emotion as I cry about my son, about my daughter who has died, etc. So this was what was the practice session, and Swami came for the first practice, And I didn't realize that the way the director had imagined this was that Narayana Mantram song would be going on from this side of the stage, and I would come from that side, stop this singing, and that's where I would stop this singing, and I would go and check, did I reach the maximum? So that was again. What I'm trying to convey is it's only that youthful energy that I knew, right? That it's only that noise and only that energetic shouting of and shouting for the master's attention was the only thing I knew at that point of time. So I shouted at the top of my voice and say stop. I didn't realize that Swami, that there is a chance that Swami who is sitting there first may realize that I am playing Hiranyakashipu, right? Because this song is from the Prahlada movie. So and I come and then I still see from the corner of my eye, and the Swami is looking at that child singing Narayana Mantram Shree Narayana, and I stopped this singing, and Swami, the way Swami turned at me and looked at me, I forgot my dialogue for a moment, but then I got it again, and then I went with the entire, and I said, stop this singing and praising of God. Who is this God? Where is this God? He is not there, etc. Swami calls me after the drama. Dekho Bangaru, itna angry nahi ho sakta. No, don't be so angry with God. Kai ko itna angry hai? I told Swami, director bola hai. Swami, right? I'm only looking at this thing. नहीं इतना angry नहीं हो सकता भगवान के ऊपर you should not be so angry with God. I went and told the director, sir Swami said don't be angry. I told, so do one thing, Sathya, you tone down the anger and you dial up the emotions, right? You be the father who has lost the daughter. So the next thing, I was totally Anjali Devi Mama's son. I did full justice to her. Oh, my son, my child who had died, and all those things. And Swami calls me at second rehearsal. This is during the Akhanda Bhajan day, right? On Akhanda Bhajan, he would come for the practice to see every Akhanda Bhajan. He would start the bhajan there, and then the following morning, he would come for the rehearsals. He called me, देखो बंगारू, इतना सारा लोग है, सारा लोग के सामने इतना कैसा रो सकता है? There are so many people around. How can you keep crying? So keep your emotions under control. So you can't have the rage and that emotional connect. So basically, it took a long time to me that those were the inner significance of his messages, saying that you can't be with the rajasic or the absolute tamasic thing of agony. You can't attract the Lord, right? He's saying itna ro nahi sakta. Then I told her, okay, Swami. Then I go and tell the director, sir, Swami is told not to tone down the emotion also. So he's telling Satya, man, I can't direct you anymore. You and the boss, you do whatever you want. And he walks away. Right? So that was the longest that Swami had spoken to me. And I realized that, and after that he would start looking at, in the darshan, he would identify the child who played my son, and he would ask him, father kidhar hai? He would come and tell him, son kidhar hai? I will look at that. So and that's and 5 years I've never been into the, once for any dramatic roles, we had probably got an interview, and with the group I entered, but all of a sudden he pulled me, saying that go inside for bringing the laddus. And by this time, my annual sports had also got over. It was January 1996, and Swami would go for darshan. I knew that my time with the institution is over. I had not yet decided that I'll apply for MBA. I was thinking for an MBA, but and then Swami said go, and then I was getting the laddu from inside. For the first time after 5 years, I had entered the inside of the interview room, gone into the kitchen and picked up those basin of laddu. And as I was coming out, I found that Swami has already come inside the interview room. He told, hey, give it to him. And I gave the laddu basin to somebody else. Kya chahiye? What do you want? I said, Swami, hey, kya chahiye? Bolo. Kya mangta hai? Kya mangta hai? What do you want? I told Swami, hey, bolo raha. I knelt down in front of him. Bolo, kya chahiye? Swami, I want only Swami. That is different, sir. What do you want? Tell me. What do you want? I don't know, nothing, Swami. I'm wondering whether I'll get a ring or in the back. All those things going on, right? But nothing, Swami. I don't want anything. Hey, bolo raha. Bolo, Swami पूछता है. Swami is asking you so many times. नहीं बोल सकता. Swami को wait कराता है. Swami, I want MBA, Swami. Because I had applied to the MBA. That was going on in my mind, MBA. Because I wanted 2 more years with Swami. And, oh, MBA chahiye. He took my neck, jao. वाइस चांसलर है, वाइस चांसलर से पूछ सकता है. And he's telling that that's not my department. You can't be asking all these things. I was telling, boss, I was telling you, no, I don't want anything, right? And the next Swami, I came back to the original. I said, no, Swami, I want only you, Swami. I want to. First interaction with Swami. I remember a friend of mine who was, with whom Swami used to speak a lot earlier. And he tells me, this Sathya, man, I saw him inside, man. He's pulling my leg. Within 30 seconds, Swami made him cry. And I was saying, and the smacko guy was made to cry in no time, because he dissipates all. He just breaks down all your defenses, and in no time all your defenses are gone, and you are vulnerable. You are present. Your core has been touched. And the master says, and you can hear that yearning just comes out. And I still remember crying and said, I don't know, Swami, I don't want anything, Swami. Chalo, ja sakta hai, jao, hey, laddu devra, jao, and it's, back to business, go distribute the laddus, right? And that was my transformative day, sometime in January 1996, where I realized the power of, in that noisy world, before the discipline of the training, before the real, this was still the what's it called, the rinse cycle of the washing machine, right? I mean the tumble dry, the full cycle was yet to come, right? So but
so it's interesting that it began with a dream, and then came to a drama.
Let's see. Wow.
And that has now given you entry into the inner views of Swami, of divinity.
Yeah.
So the journey that now begins is in itself, I presume, a big drama.
Yeah, it is.
Did you ever expect your life to be in that way when you began?
Never. never. So after that incident, Swami started speaking to me, but then he went away to Vrindavan. In February, after Shivratri, he went away to Vrindavan. And typically that's the end of the calendar year, because once Swami goes to Vrindavan, he comes back only in June. And I knew that I will not be in the college in June, because my MSc is done. So I don't know where I would be. And there was a very desperate, very, really, really sad period of my life, where the hostel, we are preparing for the final exams, and it's all that joy of the sports meet is done. I won the gold medal. Medal was not given by Swami. All those things over, and there was hollowness. And all of a sudden, Swami came back. This never happens. Earlier 4 years he had never come back. Once he had gone to Vrindavan, he came back, and like, oh, there's another hope. And I think I'd never run behind Swami's car. I never understood the thing of running behind Swami's car. I would be standing. I would listen, but the desperation was there now. So I would start running behind and wait, just understanding what that strategic points of a speed breaker is all about. Speed breakers are the most strategic places, because the car has to slow down, and you'll get that extra 2.5 seconds where Swami would get a chance to look at you, and you can show your agonized face and whatever to attract his attention. So I realized all those things, and started running behind it. Seshu, who was my good friend, who would always run behind the car, he was suddenly, what is this fellow running with me for, kind of a thing, right? So, and all of a sudden, I was sitting for bhajans were going on. In the middle of the bhajan, Swami came out. I was sitting in the place where the current samadhi is. I was sitting at that place. Swami comes out from inside. I could not even see Swami, because that Ganesha was there in the middle. I was on this side, and from inside the bhajan hall, he comes out. He walks all the way to me, and I have the application form of my brother, who was supposed to apply for class 11, and I'm holding that. And as he comes close to me, and it's loud bhajans going on. And he comes close. His hair is touching my cheeks. And he comes that close, and obviously when you come that close, you'll whisper, right? And he shouts into my ear, "Come with me to Kodaikanal, don't tell anybody." Right? No punctuations, no full stops. "Come with me to Kodaikanal, don't tell anybody." Is one line. now the come with me to Kodaikanal is like the greatest thing, that the invitation that you can have. But the second part of the sentence, don't tell anybody, is an impossibility in the hostel, right? I mean, and I being, my whole life is nothing but friends, and that's what it's all about. I did not want to come to Parthi because my friends in this thing, but at that moment I went, how can I not tell my friends, right? So but don't tell anybody. So as soon as Swami went away, I fortunately had 2 or 3 more bhajans left so I acted as if I'm closing my eyes, and I could sense the fellows around me like eager to ask, what did Swami say? And I sat in meditation, bhajans, singing, thinking of an excuse. What do I tell these guys, man? And I had to account for that time period. And so I somehow managed not to tell them. I told that, Swami was asking about the application form. It's my brother's form. Hey, Sathya, you're lying, man. I told him, no, really. That's the only thing. Don't tell anybody. But that was the beginning of the journey. And that year, we were the senior most, 2 of us, another friend of mine, we were the senior most. And Swami gave us 10,000 rupees each, saying that when Swami asks, you should give. You are the senior most. You should lead the group. And that's how my journey started. Right? And that's the Kodaikanal trip. And then the training period started, and the grooming started. I realized that I had not signed up for this. Right? It was too intense. Every single, you need to be on the razor's edge. You're walking on the razor's edge. You have to be attentive. What I realized with Swami at that point of time was that you are only when you start living with him, you realize what awake is. Right? What is the meaning of awake? I realized that I was 70%, 80% of my life was asleep. That awareness, that it's not awareness. I use the word awake. I can't describe it in any other word. I've tried multiple words, but awake is the only word that justifies, because it's like you are super caffeinated, right? I was looking at the video, right? I was looking at this video, and as I saw that carpet turn, my instinct was to go and set. I don't know whether you noticed, when in one of the things, as Swami was walking there, his slightly tripped on that carpet. The instinct in me had already come in that I need to go, and when I saw that Vinod, who was that security guy, he was doing the carpet back, right? You are awake and aware of his every moment. You are, any insect flying around, your radar is it's on the radar. Any handkerchief slightly off, if his hair is moving, you need to go and turn the fan, change the angle of the fan a little bit, because the positioning of the fan is such that he gets the breeze, but his crown is not affected, right? You have to, right? So these are nuances that he trains you to be. For me, that first training came where in Kodaikanal he had I've narrated this 100 times, but I can narrate this 1,000 million times more. Where he tells me, I was sitting inside. So for the first time, you are sitting inside his house in it's beautiful blue carpet, deep blue, navy blue carpet, and he's got his grey chair, nice cushion, something slightly different, of course. And in that informal setting, we are seated. And he comes after his morning, after we all had a breakfast, we go and settle down, waiting for him, and he comes. And somebody gave him a handkerchief. And he wiped his face and he gave it back. Hey, handkerchief nahi hai? Nahi hai, Swami. Who knows that you need to have handkerchief? I did not know. I was it's just 5 years. I was such a dumb person. I didn't know that. So. Because there were boys who knew every single aspect. I was too asleep. That's why 80% of my life was asleep. And then Swami said, Swami deta hai. So Swami took me upstairs alone and went into his room, got me a bundle of handkerchiefs. He gave me, pocket mein rakh sakta hai. and पॉकेट में हमेशा एक बैक पॉकेट रोज रख सकता है पॉकेट. Yes, Swami. I'm like, it's like a treasure. I mean, Swami's handkerchief, soft, a big bundle of those, and I keep it nicely in the pocket and fold one and keep it in my pocket. Next day, Swami comes and he does that, and somebody else gives a handkerchief. Hey, handkerchief नहीं है, Swami है, Swami pocket में रख सकता है. Second, hey, pocket में रखने को दिया है, Swami पूछने से दे सकता है. Did I give it to you to keep it in your pocket? And Swami asks, you should give. But yes, the third day, Swami comes again, and somebody else gives a handkerchief, and hey, bad boy. But Swami, you told me Swami पूछने से दे सकता है when you didn't ask me, right? Then that it takes so many kicks for the stupid mind to wake up, and then I realized that these guys, they have a knack. They realize that when Swami does this, right, this is the sign for you to give the handkerchief. Right? Oh, you're catching on slowly. The idiots are catching on, and then the next day onwards. So I should say that it's like the Shaolin Temple movie. I don't know how many of you have seen the 36 Chamber of the Shaolin. They do one hand namaste. They do the salute, not with just one hand. So we used to do this because the other hand is waiting for the handkerchief. So the next day the Swami came. I was waiting for it. Before anybody, I took out and gave, whether he wanted or not. You have to take my handkerchief. He took the handkerchief. Did that. Very good boy. And he gives the handkerchief back, and I take the back, and along with that comes a watch. Right? Watch. And the watch falls out of that. Oh, look at it, Swami. Swami does that, and he walks in. And it's the stick and the carrot that is needed to make the ass move, right? the donkey move, right? So it's so important to. That's what it is. Like there is inertia in us. There is, and when I say inertia is not just the stationary inertia. It's the inertia or the momentum of a different life, of your own journey. We are not in control of our own lives. We are controlled by 100 different. Today with social media, it's even worse for the youngsters. But there are 100 different pulls and pushes, and we feel that we are moving in the right direction. It's a random zigzag of life that is jostling us and bumping us along. But it's that momentum that Swami arrests and directs. So once I had spoken in Bombay, which was my hometown where I had grown up, and I had said that the whole title I had used was Taming of a Stallion, right? And that's what is required. An institution, an organization in size, name, should not be herding sheep. We are not here to herd sheep. We are here to redirect stallions, redirect energetic youngsters who come to us, energetic minds that come to us with 1,000 jostling ideas, and we are here to direct them. You cannot. We can do sheep herding, goat herding. Is the easy tasks. Those tasks are not the difficult tasks. What we should do in Swami's name is have that energy as leaders of the institution who are running these organizations, these institutions in Sai's name, should have the energy and the courage to engage with wayward, random stallions and direct them. I think that's my takeaway from my own story of being that wayward, and that's so much of noise in the head at that point of time. When I look back at that 22-year-old who was picked up, I feel bad for that youngster, but I'm in love with that youngster. When I read the diary of my own diary of 23, 24 and 25, when I read those early diaries, I'm in love with the way Swami has molded the thought process, brought the deepest, from the deepest recesses of our hearts, he has brought out the bhakti, which I didn't know was inside.
I mean, the raising of the consciousness, it's already there, but it's probably shrouded. But how then Swami, through love, brings that and enriches our life. And that's the purpose of human birth in the first place.
Yeah.
And then to be associated with Swami. That's what you're describing, I think, where, through these little things about a handkerchief and that, he's making you very aware and awake and conscious of the divine energy that actually is around all of us. And that's the reason why we are in, as human beings, and I guess in the Sai organization, mainly to raise our own consciousness to align with the divine, isn't it?
Correct. I mean, the idea is, what happened then was, I started learning to focus. I mean, then once you focus, everything else falls in place. That ability to sit, that child at 7 who was worried about the scratching was the only problem for me. The itching was the only problem at 7. So, you can't sit steady at 7, right? But you can never sit steady. That 7-year-old's itching looks ridiculous to us. You all laughed at me as a 7-year-old but we don't realize how much the monkey mind is itching. The way Swami used to describe the monkey mind in Kodaikanal is unbelievably funny. I always describe this to school children, and he says, hey, mind is a monkey mind, not ordinary monkey, sir, mad monkey. Not ordinary mad monkey, sir, mad monkey. Drunk mad monkey, he'll tell that, he'll describe this. Not only drunk mad monkey that has got stung by a bee. He's creating that imagery, right? He's showing what is there inside this thing which is driving us. Just imagine how beautifully, meditatively sedate a monkey that is drunk and stung by a bee would be. You can imagine what's happening inside the head, and that is what is being tamed by the master. That is where the inner compass that gets activated, where it says that this is the direction.
To borrow a phrase from Phyllis Crystal, it's taming the monkey mind.
Taming the monkey mind.
That wouldn't have been an easy process, isn't it? Especially when you're young, or at any stage, I guess. Now that I'm also old, but
you are not. You are not.
but so it wouldn't have been. I mean, it's a beautiful process. You're with Swami, and Swami is so loving and kind and compassionate and humorous as well.
There are other adjectives. I'll talk about the other adjectives, the other side of the adjectives.
I would let you do that. Do it now, and then, please share that's what I was coming to anyway. It wouldn't have been easy. So there are other adjectives that we wouldn't know, which you would be able to share with us.
So I think before we go that, I think I'll just talk about that. We left that saying that I was not ready I had not signed up for this. That came very strongly to me, and where the arresting of the momentum. So this was we had come back from Kodaikanal. This was May 1996, and on the 31st of May we were supposed to go to Parthi, and my MBA was supposed to start on the 1st of June. Swami said, you stay back, I will take you with me, right? So this was an unthinkable thing. I will take you with me, and my brother had got his securities admission for 11th class. Swami told, you tell him also to stay on here. So Swami had given a small room on the other side of Vrindavan. I was staying there, and every day Swami would call, and I would be called for dinner with Swami. I could sense that it is becoming heavy, because you can't, it's good to be in Swami's presence. You can come for the darshan, you can finish darshans and then go back to your own lives, right? You can finish the bhajans and you go back to your own life. But to be around after bhajans for the dinner and being ready all through, you have your good whites for the darshan time, right? But to be in the whites all through in Kodaikanal was a challenge, right? You have to have extra pairs of whites, and it's not, there's no concept of a good whites. In the hostel we had those concepts. The college whites were different from the mandir whites, and it's a very complex process. I don't want to go into that. So of teenage life and life of college boys. But the idea is to be at the beck and call of the master is, when the mind is not yet trained, is a strenuous process. right? So the strain, I have seen many boys, many of my contemporaries who pulled out of the thing and would shy away from this, from the responsibility. I was trying to shy away in the beginning, because one day Swami was Swami called me at that point of time, and he told, "Hey, kya mangta hai?" I was doing the Pad Seva. It was in the dining hall alone. I was sitting with him. The Mrs. Ratanlal had not yet come with her food and also thing. The cook was cooking inside, and I was doing. Swami was reading his letters, and I was doing the Pad Seva. Suddenly he kicked me. Said, "Hey, kya raha? Marriage karta hai?" I was momentum, right? I told Swami, "Abhi nahi Swami, baad mein karta hai Swami." Right? So not now, Swami. I'll marry later. And hey, you are mine. You are mine. I should have been elated. I was petrified. Because the momentum has been, because that's what it's all about, right? All of us have planned our lives. We have our own envisionment. We are our own auteurs, right? We have got our own intentions. We have identified our own magic tiles to lead us to where we want to be. And here is the master coming and saying that, no, you are mine. The typical mindset of a youngster is what? You finish your education, you get a job, you get married, you settle down, no, khana pina sona marna is what Swami used to say, right? Right? Khana pina sona marna is what the trajectory of our everyday life is. And he says, you are mine. I still remember I went to my room. It was, I know it was a bright, beautiful sunset, pink skies, but my heart was dark. I went to the room, I just lay down on the bed and started sobbing and sobbing and sobbing. I don't know why. So much of agony where it came with. For what? I have no idea. My brother was there. Now I'm worried. Now when I think back, he was a 15-year-old young boy who's looking at his elder brother whom he idolizes. 7 years younger to me, and he's lying on the bed and sobbing away to glory. He comes, holds me, and I cannot imagine the agony that came out. But as I was sobbing, I think I was sobbing at the inevitability of it. I was sobbing for the life that is gone. Of the life, I was sobbing for the death of that Sathya, right? And when I woke up after that, I realized I had the responsibility of going and taking my brother for dinner. I told, come Ashwin, let's go for dinner. I wiped my eyes, and as I was walking back across the Trai Vrindavan towards the other side to the canteen, it was pitch dark, but my heart was lit. Heart was lit with a clarity of purpose, with a path that I know would be in the company of the Divine Master. Just that incident I'll never forget. It was probably 10th or 11th of June, just 3-4 days before we were to go to Parthi. And this was just 2 months. In April, for the first time, he took me to Kodaikanal, and in these 2 months, 2.5 months, my life was completely turned. You know that there are unbelievable perks of being, with Swami. He's going to take me, all that. But once you realize the deeper perks of what it means to you, what the transformation, how the transformation changes you completely, how that inner transformation happens, none of those external perks matter. Nothing else matters. No chairmanship, no, nothing. Just kidding, right? He's my dear brother. But it's a beautiful, beautiful experience, because the journey of the unfolding of the divine from within, the joy of finding him in the heart, the joy of being able to serve him in the multitudes. I think that's what he was opening up in those days, and I think
living for God, living with God, living in God.
Living in God. Oh, it's a beautiful experience.
So what kind of so during this process? I mean, we can have a satsang here. From what you have shared so far, probably we'll have a series of 10. And as we were saying, we maybe have to have that, like Sai Bhagavatam, 10 episodes or 20 episodes with Satyajit to understand and go deeper into the different training, aspects of training that Swami has, sort of taken you through to build that relationship. But how would you describe that relationship with Swami, between you and him?
I think it will be only, how do we describe? There are so many analogies that come into mind, but I think anecdotes are the best way to describe that. So I think one of the best ways of describing is adjectives. So let's come back to the adjectives that you missed out. Right? You used all the rosy pink adjectives you used. There are other colors. There are the hues of the training, the darker hues and the bright red hues of anger and this thing, which is needed for taming the mind, right? And what I learned from Swami is, which I keep talking to, because I'm in education, I keep talking to my teachers saying that earn the right to scold. Earn the right to scold. Don't scold a child without having earned that right. Do not try to correct a child till the child has given you the right. Till that child has said, in my case, till I have cried out and said that yes, I am your Swami. Now till then it was all rosy and all pampering and a watch one day and a ring the other day and changing the ring to something else, and all the pamperings that are required is there. And then today I don't wear any of those things. We'll come to that later on. But the thing is, for me, the mind, the focusing of the mind, the concentration of the mind was the primary thing that Swami wanted, right? Saying that, and one of those days, I was sitting in the mandir, the hands perfectly folded, thumbs to the chest, chin high, and smiling face, and looking at Swami, mind in Bombay, right? But perfect. All the mudras are there. All the asana is there. Pranayama is there. Dhyana is not there. Dharana is not there. Right? Only the Bahiranga yogas are there. Right? The inner things are not there. And Swami was looking at people, and he had gone from the front. So for me, when I'm sitting here, that's Prashant Nilayam, and he's gone inside the bhajan hall from the front. He had come back. I turned around. I turned my waiting for him to come out of the back door of the bhajan hall, right? And body is perfectly aligned. And Swami came out. He was picking up letters as usual. The joyful reaper, not the grim reaper, but the joyful reaper is reaping all the troubles from around, picking up letters, etc. And he was picking up a letter from somebody, and then he looked at me. His face changed. He pushed that letter back into that person's head. I still imagine what would have gone into his mind when Swami pushed the letter back. And he walked straight into, I could see him. He walked straight into the room, and my mind, body, soul came focused, at the door now, right? Complete focus. And as expected, the door opened a crack, and just a finger came out. I went in. You can imagine the fear, because we had heard stories of earlier students, where he was furious with some student, and they had gone inside, and and somebody had rushed behind Swami to pray to Swami. Swami, please forgive. And there was a big sound inside, and the spectacles had flown out, and that guy comes, picks up the spectacles, wears it, and goes back again. So we have heard these stories earlier, right? And I'm hoping that something like that doesn't happen. I entered the room. Hey, where is your mind? Kidhar hai tum? Where are you? Not where is. Where are you? I said, Swami, idhar hi hai. Perfect. 5 years of acting, right? So, Swami, idhar hi hai, Swami. Hey, bad boy, kidhar hai? Absolute Raudra Rupam. That means his the true embodiment of love, we say, but
Shiva.
Yeah, he's the embodiment of Raudra Rupa. And his बोलो किधर है, डॉग के जैसा जाता है, इधर 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 उधर जाता है, सब छी 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 छी, बैड बॉय बैड बॉय. Swami, hey, he said, ऐसा कर सकता है रा, I can do this, I can snap my fingers and I can make you follow me like a dog. Dog के जैसा follow करता है रा. Swami, करो Swami, please do it. Right? That's the, I'm saying that I'm surrendering, Swami. See the joy in that. See this youngster, at 12, at 22, he's surrendering himself and he's offering the Swami, make me your dog. There was a pride in that, na? So they're saying that I'm surrendering. Swami, do that. And Swami said, hey, मैं तुम्हारा धोबी है? He's asking, do you think I'm your धोबी? नहीं कर सकता है, तुम्हारा इच्छा से फॉलो कर सकता है रा, ऐसा करता है स्वामी. Saying, do you think Swami is like that? That Swami will do this? I can change कर सकता है रा, sky को heaven कर सकता है, heaven को earth कर सकता है. Mind नहीं change करता स्वामी, तुम करना चाहिए. You have to change. You have to change it. You अंदर से आता है. You see, you have to. It has to come from within that you want to follow Swami. That was one of those first lassos on the stallion, right? Where the master had walked with the stallion and understood, saying that I am your master, and we can do it the easy way or the hard way, but you will learn to control your mind. And it's again, of course, it cannot be done forcefully. It has to come from a place of love. It has to come from a place of so much love, so much of worship, that your mind has no other go but to be focused on him. You cannot force, you can't force a flame. The flame has to be focused through the lack of breeze around. You need to protect it through the glass of, I'm mixing analogies, of course, probably, but you understand what I'm saying, right? It has to be, you cannot be living in cannot be living a distracted life and yet expect to be leading a focused life. So that's what those things. But and when that love comes, when that love is suffused in our heart, you don't have to put in an effort. And all of us, the grihasthas, we know that once we are married, once we are with the one whom we are loved, there is distractions are not there anymore. You are completely focused, and I'm giving simple examples probably, right? I could not have given this example a few years back, but now I can talk about this, right? Because and that's what it is with the Divine Master. Once you are in love, everything else becomes easy. Everything else, there was this Kannada poet who would say that that people say that I have sacrificed so much to be at the divine lotus feet, but they are the ones who are sacrificing. They are the ones who don't know the treasures that are available at the lotus feet, and they are sacrificing this for those pretenses of worldly joy. Right? So these are deep thoughts that emerged into my mind because of that one hey. धोबी है ना, मैं तुम्हारा धोबी है. So that was a shocker to me. That was a shocker to me, saying that your mind, you clean, your responsibility. And then it strikes you, right? What are you offering to Swami? What dirty things are you offering to Swami? You do so much of, when you're offering Naivedya, you do so much of cleaning. We had one wonderful doctor, Dr. Bhatt. He was the father of urology, and Dr. Bhatt, and his wife was wonderful. She was in charge of the department of microbiology in the hospital. Elderly couple in their 80s probably, and she would cook for Swami once in a week. Swami had performed, allowed her to cook, and she would clean everything, and absolutely the microbiology related level of cleaning of the kitchen would happen at that point of time. And Dr. Bhatt would, he's an elderly man, and he would say that the only thing unsterile in that home would be me. And so she would sterilize the whole thing, and then And then she would say, I mean, when we do the basic offering to Swami, we do so much of thing. But what can we offer to Swami? Where is the purity? How do we purify ourselves to offer to Swami?
I mean, it's a beautiful journey, and to offer oneself so fully and be ready for the sculpting.
Yeah.
Despite the, sometimes the painful process that it seems like pain, but finally you come out to be a beautiful image.
Not that you have the option, of course.
But, would you, during that process, I mean, would you sort of relate yourself to Swami as a devotee, as a friend, or as son, or how would you, father-son relationship, what is it like?
Very difficult to talk about this. The way, I think it evolves also, right? And you are looking at, I still remember the first time when he was, he had that summer of 1996, when we had come back from Kodaikanal. I was supposed to go to Puttaparthi for the entrance exam for my MBA, and Swami had organized for a devotee to take me in the car, right? Otherwise, we were used to taking the bus and going and dying. Prince Ra, you are Prince. Swami is saying you are a prince. You're going in the car, right? So you feel like the Rajkumar, right? He's the emperor. Then you are the Rajkumar. Because everything has been arranged, and you go there, you finish the entrance, your interview is done, and you rush back. You get grilled by the vice chancellor. That's a different thing. But those grillings will happen. But you start thinking in those lines. But then as the proximity increases, as you become closer and closer to him, I don't think there is a name for the relationship. You are available for whatever service is required. I have served him. I have served him like a servant. I have served him like a wife. I have served him like a mother. I have served him like whatever is needed. I have served him like a secretary. I have served him like an executive assistant. I have done all roles. Again, that I can hear I have done coming so many times. But the thing is, he gets it done. There is no I and he, and it's a smooth, it's a natural way of being. You don't have the time to define relationship. All those things happen probably now. At that point of time, I did not. There was no time to define, to sit and reflect and define the relationship. You are in the moment. You are available all through. You are vacuuming the house when Swami is gone to darshan. You are keeping things ready. You're ensuring that the doctor is available towards the last part of his existence on earth. You are every single thing it's in a zone. You are present. When he's doing the transitioning of the trust, he wants to change from it being a sole trustee to onboarding other trustees. You are available as the executive assistant, interfacing with whatever role is required, right? Whatever role is required, you are available. You are available. It's like like what Hanuman would say, right? I am a servant, but I am one with him. At one point of time, I was cleaning the bathroom, and chala shramara bangaru. I'm giving you so much of work. Chala shramara bangaru. I told Swami, I don't know where that words came from. I told Swami, yendu kitla cheptaru Swami? Why do you say such things? So am I not an extension of your body? Right? Am I not a continuation of your body? How do you describe it in words? How do you describe it in human relationships? That relationship, right? It's just a continuity of that existence, of that difference between him and you starts ceasing, and and when you start seeing his love, when you start seeing the world from his point of view, right? you start feeling him seeing the world through your eyes, and it's very difficult to explain these things. I know I'm rambling on, but it cannot be described in worldly. You cannot say that, oh, are you a son? Are you you are everything. Because Mariantayu Nive as Mariantayu Nenu. I mean, you are my everything. I am your everything. I think it's a mutual thing. Like the moment you say in the Arti Mariantayu Nive means what? I am also. If you are everything to me, then that means there's a proximity. That's a reciprocity, right? And I am everything to you.
It's a reflection.
It's a reflection. Mariantayu. It's such a powerful word. I think one reflection only on that line of the Arti, Mariantayu Nive. You just think about that. Everything else is you, right? Mata Pita, Guru, not just that, but Mariantayu Nive. You are everything else to me. Everything else, it's only you. I think every one of you should, every one of us should do that reflection. It's a very, very powerful reflection. Very powerful reflection.
Thank you, Sathya. Actually, I mean, it's such a beautiful journey of where, I wouldn't say it ends, but where it comes to a point where you reflect His love, where you reflect His image through that of love, through your own life, and through your own attitude to the world and to approach to individuals. I think that's the beauty of the journey, where it begins as a dream, but it comes to a phase where you actually reflect. Maybe that's a new way of looking at things for us, with the word of Atma Nivedanam, which is total surrender, which is that there isn't a second. You're just reflecting Swami's love in this world. And beautiful journey. And I say there are so many other things that we can. I don't know how time has passed. Probably we just give a little stretch to everybody, stretch your legs and grab a drink maybe, and come back, and then we will just speak maybe in about 10 minutes, and then we'll have another session on further things, what you would like to reflect.
Looking forward.
So it's now, a big round of applause. Sairam. So 10 minutes, we will start here at 7:20. Warm water for you. I have some warm water for you actually, but it's just left on the edge of the stage.
This is good. I'm comfortable with this.
Come. Some tea.
But take it off now.
Some tea.
Sorry, I break with
No problem. Just, no problem. I'll just get some water for him, some warm water.
No, brother. Sorry, I think I'm good.
Invite Brother Satyajit back onto the stage. Please have a seat. Thank you, Sathya, for a beautiful, very engaging, and I had received messages that let's not have a break, let's carry on. But I think if we don't take a break, we won't know how the night had passed. We'll probably be doing Akhand Satsang. We just finished Akhand Bhajans. Perhaps in the Sai calendar, we should also do a Akhand Satsang once a year, global Akhand Satsang. So we will just begin the second session. Oh yeah, please. No, not mine. Yeah, I'll remove that. I thought it was yours.
No.
Yeah, I'll take that.
No, I'll take it. Could you please take it away? Somebody's glass has been left here. Thank you.
Give this to you, I think. Thank you very much. So Sairam, Sathya, welcome back.
Sairam,
and I hope you enjoyed the bit of warm tea.
Yes, it was good.
English tea we call it.
English tea.
Yeah.
Cup of tea.
Cup of tea. Yes, cup of tea. Tea with Satyajit. That's how it should be called, I think. Coffee with Karan, tea with Satyajit. Satyajit, I think the word means the triumph of truth.
Yeah.
So truth is always very essential, and truth is something that will prevail at all times. And what a name to carry. Satya Sai Baba and Satyajit is both standing up for truth. There are many questions, obviously, and you have answered in your various online satsangs over many years. You have spoken about a lot of things, and I would advise, or I would recommend, I would suggest that all our brothers and sisters actually listen to those talks as well, where you have clarified multiple things around Swami's Mahasamadhi time and post Mahasamadhi, and all of that. So I don't think the focus of our discussion now is as much on the happenings around that time, which are poignant, and when a dear one and as dear as Swami leaves the earthly coil, we all go through various pangs. I'm sure each one of us are going through that, and there is it's like losing our dear one, a father or a mother or a brother or whatever. That void is never ever filled. But the great advantage we have is that if we are connected, if you're ready to connect with Swami, and that's how we have dealt with the first session, if we are ready to connect with Swami, if we are pining, if we are yearning for Swami's presence in our lives, then he's always ready to come and connect with us. So after Swami's Mahasamadhi, what were your thoughts? If you wouldn't mind sharing that, what were your thoughts, and how did you reconcile? Or was there a necessary, or was there a need to reconcile? Was that a continuum that you felt his presence all through, which was perhaps a part of your training as well?
Yeah, I can see that the whole auditorium has become dark.
There is light.
Yes. Yeah, but those were dark days, and the light of him within the heart was the only thing that kept all of us going. Is it not? So maybe it was amplified for me. The agony was amplified for me. Is the mic on? Sorry. Maybe it was amplified manifold for me because of my physical proximity to him, and over the years, over the 13 years that I was with him, from 98 onwards, he had become the center, the fulcrum of my life. There was nothing other than him in my life, and it was the yanking of the physical frame, the physical body from my life was is an inexplicable pain, and I think that was the case for each one of us when we, yes sir. Yeah. Is this better? See, many a times when what we had learnt from Swami in the many years that I was able to spend with him was to accept every single action of his without question, right? And there was no suggestions from our side. There were no prayers from my side, which did not, to change the direction of his intention. So if he had decided something, you don't pray against that. You don't say that, Swami, no Swami, let's stay here for a few more days. No, or Swami, it's getting hot here, Swami, let's go to Brindavan, let's go to Kodaikanal. If you do make that prayer, he would say that you go and come. Go and come. I was born in this village, so the heat doesn't bother me. So if you say, no, Swami, continue here for some more time, but there is no. What I realized was that his will is supreme, right? And that training was an important training to let go, eventually let go of the physical frame, because knowing that it was his decision to move on. And this was sometime in 2009. Swami had gone to Kodaikanal, and just to show how his planning, how his departure was a planned departure, right? And we continue to keep reconciling the 96 years with the 85, and there was so much of discussion about that in 2011. But in 2009, when we were in Kodaikanal, I remember taking him for a long drive. Every once in a while he would go out for a drive into the hills and enjoy if the roads are empty, we would put down the glass a little bit and he could take the fresh air in. We don't realize how much we had bottled up Swami inside. As devotees, we did not give him any privacy. He was in a prison. But in Kodaikanal, we would take that liberty and go out a little bit. And then that afternoon, we had gone for a drive. Unfortunately, it was a Sunday, and Sunday Kodaikanal becomes crazy with tourists, and we had gone up the hill, and there was a traffic jam, and we took what was supposed to be a 30-minute drive became a 2-hour drive, and we came back, and Swami said, "No, I'll go up now. Let me rest." And his body was already frail by then, 2009. And as he was resting, I was seated next to him. He suddenly said, "Hey, he has come." And I said, "Swami, who has come?" And he was pointing to the ceiling, and he was saying that, "Peda misal petkoni." When we are when we suddenly sometime end up taking the mother's role, right? We start taking up multiple roles. Then you're trying to deal with things, deal with the child. Why is the child telling all these things? You know, they will all be worried. The students will be worried, and that kind of a mindset comes in. But nothing is ignorance, but everything is ignorance, right? That kind of a thing. So it is only out of love. So it's like Mother Yashoda, fainting after seeing the three words in the Krishna's mouth, and yet after that, holding him and tying him down, and so do you think it's mother's ignorance? No, it is not ignorance. It's just the love of at the physical level, yet being aware that there is something cosmic going on. So Swami here was communicating that there is some time, that the time has come. He had already started preparing the mind way back in 1999. He had shown me the place where he had first spoken to me, that come with me to Kodaikanal. 3 years later, he is standing in that place. He had come to see some, I think the convocation preparation, and he was standing there and seeing that, and he said that this is going to be my last resting place in 1999. Right? This is where I will be. I will do this all well. And all those things were happening. So when he said this, I was a bit worried in 2009. It was sometime in April 2009. And then when he came back to Parthi, we didn't go to Vrindavan that year. We flew down directly from Kodaikanal to Parthi, and he started telling Indulal Shah sir and Justice Bhagwati that we should have a different trust deed. We should change the deed of the central trust and those kinds of things. And he had told me to call them. So we called both of them. He came. Then he started speaking to Professor Mr. Giri, S.V. Giri, who was the former Vigilance Commissioner, Central Vigilance Commissioner of India, and Professor G. Venkatraman. Both of them, he would speak to them and tell that, okay, so the multiple drafts of the trust deed started coming, and should there be an amended deed of the trust. So all these things were going on. I was part of that entire process. And eventually the legal opinion that came from Justice Bhagwati saying that the original deed that we already have in the central trust, I think that is robust enough to deal with the eventuality of the physical frame. But yet at the same time, then Swami said, no, we should get trustees on board. I don't want to be a sole trustee anymore. See, this is 2009. He is preparing all this. And then Giri sir and GV sir are all saying that, no, Swami, you should be the trustee. Why don't we need now, and we'll do it sometime later, and this and that. Swami is telling me to Vindre, he's telling that Chayman Chapu, tell them to get it done. Because everybody is worried. How can you be co-trustees with Sathya Sai? Swami was the sole trustee for many years. All the others were only a council of management members. So I went once to Giri sir, and I said, sir, I want to talk to you in confidence. He told, what is it, Satyajit? And I told him about this dream, both to GV sir and SV Giri sir. I said, Swami, this is what had happened in Kodaikanal. I think Swami is trying to push this in right earnest. It's not a test of your devotion, of whether you want to be a trustee and this and that. But I think he's trying to get this done in right earnest. Let's get it done. It would be a good training period for the trustees to start thinking and taking decisions, and along with him. So it would be a good. We've got a good 10-year lead time from the 83rd birthday, 83 to 96. We've got 10 to 12 years to prepare. I think that was my thought process. That's how I spoke, and then finally, then he started taking it seriously. He started corresponding, starting writing mail to me, send me a few drafts. Then started corresponding with Justice Bhagwati and Indulal Shah sir, and got co-optation done. And then Swami ensured that there were 5 trustees that were added. But it was 3 documents that Swami signed on that day, right? He said one was the formation of co-optation of 5 trustees into the central trust, the formation of a council of management with 9 members, and most importantly, he created 6 subcommittees, right, to look at multiple affairs of the ashram, others. So, very, very clearly 3 solid documents which talks about a distributed management system, etc., got created, and then you should have seen the happiness in his face, saying that, I have set everything in place, kind of a thing. And then we could see that the body was deteriorating slowly. We were always trying to make sure that he's well. There were doctors always around. We had ensured that a cardiac surgeon was transferred from Vrindavan to Puttaparthi. He was there. So all these things were in place. But when the eventuality really happened, and Swami was taken to the hospital, that was a very difficult time for all of us, and yet in what I saw at that point of time with the Divine Master, in those declining years, from 2003 onwards, when the health started declining, there was never a decline in the spirit, right? And that's what I've seen. I remember one very, very powerful memory for me is when Mrs. Ratanlal, I don't know how many of you know Mrs. Ratanlal, but she was, she had learned how to cook from Mother Ishwaramma, and she had left everything in Bombay and had settled down in Parthi. The first Sanatana Sarthis, eventually when it started getting printed in Vrindavan, was done by the Braj Ratanlal press. Right? She had created a press, and in that the first printing of Sanatana Sarthi, which happened in-house, happened in her trust. So wonderful, wonderful lady. We used to call her Amma. She was my mother when I could not go back to my mother for 13-15 years, right? So she was my Amma at home. So she came one day to she would never come too often to Yajur Mandir, because in Yajur Mandir it's a formal place. She would not enter. But she told one afternoon, Satyajit, मुझे बाबा से मिलना है, मुझे स्वामी से मिलना है. तू कैसे करता है मुझे पता नहीं, मिला दे मुझे. With full right, you have to make me meet Swami. I told Swami, Amma, बैठो, मैं देख के आता हूँ. And I told Swami, Amma has come. I don't know what she wants, but she wants to meet you. Told Kucho Manchapu, drama. Tell her to sit. And he went into that side room. And Swami, क्या ड्रामा कर रहे हो स्वामी आप, क्या ड्रामा कर रहे हो, what is this drama स्वामी, आपने ऐसे करके कोवन को उठाया, मैंने देखा है, you had woken up कोवन like this, you can do this, you can do that. So all the monkeys and the bears had spoken to Hanuman about his powers. Mrs. Ratanlal is talking to Swami, saying that you can do this, you can do that. काहे को आप wheelchair में काहे को बैठे हो Swami? Why are you in this wheelchair? उठो. She's actually bending down and lifting Swami's leg, putting up the footrest and putting Swami's leg. उठो आप मेरे सामने उठ जाओ. Like pushing. Hey, Mrs. Ratanlal, bite. Hey, Swami is telling him, hey, and all this is happening here. The right of Mrs. Ratanlal to do that. I was just enjoying the whole unfolding of that devotion, that display of devotion. That's why Swami rightly had said that drama before, right? And this whole drama is, hey, Mrs. Ratanlal. And she said, नहीं स्वामी, आप जब चल के आते हैं तो कितना अच्छा लगता है, समष्टि दर्शन रहता है स्वामी. When you come walking, it's like such a wheelchair में अच्छा नहीं लगता स्वामी. I can see that thing happening right now, right? But Swami, hey, क्या stop हो गया है? What has stopped? College अच्छा चलता है, हॉस्पिटल अच्छा चलता है, वाटर प्रोजेक्ट अच्छा चलता है, सारा अच्छा चलता है. स्वामी नहीं चलना क्या मिस्टेक है? Everything is going on. Everything is, the hospital is going on, the college, universities are going on, the water project is going on, everything is going on. If Swami doesn't walk, how does it matter, right? The equanimity, the beauty of Swami's comfort in every phase of his life is one of the greatest lessons, right? That was the phase where I had stopped, I have since then never ever prayed for health. I never have to pray saying that Swami, this problem, that problem. The only prayer that comes from the heart is Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. That's the only prayer that is worth asking for. You cannot be asking for anything. When Swami had allowed his body to decline, he had gone through the entire process. Why should we be praying for something that is a natural process? You can do your own things to get rid of your bodily challenges. You need to lead a disciplined life. So this was the thing. And in the hospital, I remember when we were taking Swami to the hospital, he was like a Maharaja. I still remember he decided, no, I will not sleep on the stretcher. His wheelchair was taken into the ambulance, and he was seated in the ambulance looking straight. There was a small window, and through the window the windshield was seen, and he was seeing the road in front of the airport we were going, and he was seated this way, regal thing, and I was seated next to him on the side bench, and I just touched his hand, we want the attention, because he looked at me, smiled, gave a beautiful smile, and again, that was one of the most regal things. When I look back at it, right, that was his last drive to the hospital. In the hospital, he was cheerful, whatever the doctors are doing. He had always had that attitude. Earlier in 2003, when he had gone through a surgery, he had told the doctor, "This body belongs to you. You take care of it. Me responsibility. Your responsibility. You take care of it." And that was his attitude in the hospital. I still remember about the 16th or the 17th day in the hospital, Dr. Venugopal had come. He was the cardiac surgeon from the All India Institute of Medical Sciences, and he was instrumental in setting up the Puttaparthi hospital and the Whitefield hospital. Had done tremendous amount of work. And when he came, I was standing next to Swami. I told Swami, Venugopal Garu Achar Swami. So I just woke him up, and he looked at Venugopal. Chala santosham. Chal, very, very happy. With his left hand, because right hand had the thing. With his left hand, he gave Abhayasta. Chala santosham. And Dr. Venugopal asked him, Swami, yemena badhaga unda Swami, yemena chegalama. Swami, is there any? Are you suffering? Can we do anything, Swami? Yemi badale tu bangaru, haiga unanu. Right? These were his words. So, I have no badha. I have no troubles. Haiga unanu. Right? When brother earlier spoke about you tell sai, I tell hi. He didn't mean the hi as the English hi. Hi in Telugu means. What's the exact translation of Telugu? It's the
comfort.
Absolutely comfortable. On the hospital bed with needles poking into his hands, and sleeping on the bed for 17-18 days. He said, "Haiga unnanu bangaru. I am comfortable. I am in a blissful state." These are lessons. People keep asking me, what were the last words of Swami? What were the last lessons? As if 85 years of lessons are not enough. They want to hear. Oh, thank you so much. Very thoughtful of you. As if those 85 years of lessons are not enough, you want to hear the last lesson from Swami. But these are, and he had always, the idea is when he says that you are Divyatma Swarupulara, right, that you are not the body, you are not the mind, you are the divine Atma. He has lived that every single moment of his life till the last breath, right? So when I don't know what can be expressed of 24th of April. It was, he had given us a month to prepare. The whole world was praying for him. I saw that Swami is slowly withdrawing. What we used to do at that point of time is that the human effort is always there to pull him. We want to hold on to the physical form. That's the most precious thing, and he's not responding. He wouldn't open his eyes for the last few days. I had got the Suprabhatam recorded. I told somebody to record the Suprabhatam in the mandir, and we had got an iPhone, not iPhone, that iPod. iPod was the thing at that point of time. iPod was there. We got an iPod. We took headphones and we put it on Swami's and played the Suprabhatam. The Suprabhatam in Parthi, the lady who sings, it's a very, very slow. Ishwaramba Sutta Sriman. It's a pranayama in itself, right? It's you can sense the calming thing of that, and realizing that Swami had been hearing that for ages, for all his years, and I used to put that, and I could see Swami's eyebrows move. He wouldn't open his eyes then. Then again, out of effort as we do, I had told there was this brother Srinivasulu. He had a wonderful voice. He would sound like Ghantasala when he sings. And I had told him, brother, and he was helping in editing the Telugu Sanatan Sarthi. So I told, brother, why don't you pray to Swami? Why don't you send your prayers that you are all waiting for Swami? How the hostel is waiting, how the students are waiting. And he recorded that in the studio and he sent, and we had put that into Swami's ears, because we are trying to pray. We are, Swami Unna, and he is not opening his eyes. And we put this, and I could again see the only response was the eyebrows moving, right? So here is the entire humanity, as all of you. I know that every one of you must have spent sleepless nights praying and doing Namasmarana and Namajapa, and writing thousands and thousands of letters to Swami. And it was a focusing of all of humanity to him. What Swami had done to me with that handkerchief thing of paying attention to this aspect, all of you had learned to focus on him, on his well-being. I think the all of humanity had started praying for the health of the divine. We had started praying not for ourselves but for him. Right? How many, when we realize, when we really think back and sit back and think about it, how many of us pray for the Master, pray for the divine? We pray for ourselves, we pray for our own benefits. How many of us pray for him? Should we not be praying for him? When we start praying for him, that's where he is nothing but the Samasta Lokha. Right? So all these, sorry, I don't know how to answer your question. It opens up an entire ocean of memories. It just brings back. That's what integral is all about. That one moment then becomes the point of infinite. That last moment is the culmination of all thoughts, of all ways of being gets directed towards that point where he finally decided to let go and say that my journey for this round is done. Of course, needless to say, I still have the image of me sitting on the ICU floor and sobbing my heart away. I still have those images will never be erased of the Samadhi, and I was directionless after that, right? Because day and night, my only thing was to wake him up and prepare him, get him ready, comb his hair, ensure that he's the beautiful form that goes out. And what do I do then? What do I do after that? Now challenges started pouring on me, and I'm grateful for those challenges. I'm eternally grateful for the challenges that got thrown at me during those months following the Mahasamadhi. I'm eternally grateful for that, because that gave me the confidence of what Swami had put into me, right? The resilience that he had put in, the character that he had molded that became apparent to me only because of those challenges at that point of time, right? We had kept Swami's let me not go into those things, that's not something that we need to live on, but the thing is, at that point of time, I remember the only prayer that would come from my heart was, Swami, let none of these external things affect my core. I don't know where that word core came from. I don't know how that prayer got formed, but as I was sitting in front of that mound of mud covered with white vibhuti, that's all that the samadhi was before the marble thing that came up. I would sit in the mornings, early in the morning, 4 o'clock I would come there and sit from that west to residence of my friend where I was staying, and I would sit there and visualize myself being covered with Swami as the blanket. That was the image that strongly came to me, and I am inside that blanket, protected, and and the only prayer that comes is that let none of these external things affect my core. I think that what I realized is he bringing clarity to the mind, to the being, saying that it is your core, your Atma, and Atma alone that matters. None of the other things, nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. It's the Atma at all. And the prayer that let my core not get affected has been with me throughout, through ups and downs in life, through the greatest joys, through the greatest sorrows in life. The only prayer is let my core not get affected. And if that prayer can be our prayer, right? That my core, which is the center of my being, in which resides the Divine Master, if that is unaffected by the negativities around, if I can ensure that the negativities around do not enter the core, nothing more is. And this was the most important takeaway for me. And the second most important takeaway was the connection of intuition for me. I remember there was a lot of pressure for me to leave Prasanthi Nilayam at that point of time, and I was moving around the ashram with 4 police gunmen around me because of the negative press that had been created, and unnecessary nonsense was being spread around. The police were worried about me, so they had put 2, and then they had put 2 more people. These youngsters were following me around, and the elders were getting worried, saying that for my safety, I think Satyajit, it will be better that you go either to Bombay, or you are interested in Vidya Vahini, why don't you do it with the EHV program, and why don't you relocate back to Bombay, which was your hometown? And these kinds of things happened, and I said, I heeded the advice of S.V. Giriji, who was my confidant, and I was working very closely with him. He said, why don't you do that, Satyajit? I said, okay, sir, if you're insisting so much. And on that day that I was supposed to depart, I was that morning, I went and sat at the Samadhi with the intention of taking leave of Baba, of Swami, and saying that, Swami, I just went and sat there with that same thing of the core and that prayer. No words spoken, no revelations, no this thing. But I stepped out of that place with clarity. I just went to my room, took my bag, went to my cabin in the office and sat there. I just sat in my office. I was supposed to call Mr. Ramesh Sawant later on, saying that, sir, please send me a ticket so that I can come. I'm all packed. The previous evening, my fellow friends had given me a farewell and all those things, Sathya, all the best. And I said, I'm going with hope. I know that we'll do good work wherever we are. But I came out of that place, no words spoken, but absolute brightness, clarity, that where do you want to go? And I just came and sat in the office. Nobody questioned me. Nobody raised the question that you were supposed to go. What happened is that. Only thing that happened was on the press that evening, everywhere it was splashed, and Satyajit has escaped and this and that, and so there was a machinery going on in the back end with all preparations done, and because the farewell was already given, and I was in Parthi, and I was surprised. Hey, where did Satyajit go? Did I really? I'm here, right? And suddenly, today, just now, when somebody was talking to me during photograph, somebody said that, oh, but you had disappeared for a few years after. I had never disappeared. I had never disappeared. It was nice. Sorry, ma'am, whoever it was. I had never disappeared. So the thing is,
it's one thing very clear to all of us, Satyajit, in the interaction we have had so far, and in this, what you have shared with us, wouldn't have been an easy one, but you shared, and thank you very much for sharing that. But one thing that is very evident for all of us, to everybody here, and those listening to this across the world, is that your core...
But afraid to come here.
That some are afraid to come here, yeah, because if they are caught...
But it's all right.
But yeah, I mean, for us, again, as I said, as a part of the trust, Swami has created this trust only to spread the message of love, and our alignment as Sai devotees, not just as trustees. Fundamentally, first and foremost, we are all Swami's children, Swami's devotees.
Absolutely.
And our focus is only on Swami and his message of love.
Yeah.
But one thing that's very clear to all of us is that your core is intact.
Yes.
Dear brothers and sisters, do you all agree that his core is intact? And that's a great lesson, despite the many challenges, to keep that core intact. Because at the end of the day, what matters? What are we here for? We're here to be as close to Swami as possible, and that's all it is. Everything else doesn't matter, does it?
Doesn't matter.
So it's that's the core, and if the core is with you, that's fantastic. And the second thing I would like to say is that you may think that, not you may think, I mean, physically, yes, you left Prashant Nilayam, whatever. But I think you have actually expanded Prashant Nilayam wherever you have gone.
I always make this distinction. I have never left Prashant Nilayam. I left Puttaparthi. Yeah. Right? I make that distinction very, very clear. Yes. It's very clear in my head.
Yes.
I have left Puttaparthi, but Prashant Nilayam is with me. That abode of peace is at our beck and call. Right? So I'm absolutely clear about that distinction.
And you have, that's what I mean, you've expanded Prashant Nilayam beyond the limits of Puttaparthi or any geographical limits, but it's gone wherever it is. And today, again, coming to UK and spending time with us, you have brought Prashant Nilayam here during these 100th year birthday celebrations. And again, I would like all our brothers and sisters here to
I really, the intention here is not to make a political point out of this. It is the core spiritual point that I'm making, saying that that Prashant Nilayam is always in our heart. That's the point, and it is our responsibility to know that we are always in Prashant Nilayam. That we need to create that abode of peace in our vicinity, in our spiritual surrounding. It is our bounden duty. We who have experienced Swami in our hearts, we who have found that joy, found that peace, found that ananda at his lotus feet, you are never ever off the hook. If you have found that one iota of peace, one iota of love, one iota of ananda at his feet, it is your bounden duty to pass it on forward. He does not expect payback. I have one of my responsibilities as in those years was to, he had given the mandate saying that if any of the boys who are working in the trust, they always had the the trust and the hospital and the institute, they always had that habit of sending their first salary back to Swami as a donation, right? So they would come and give it to Swami, and Swami would give it back, right? And then so they would, Swami would tell them, go get a sari for your mother or do something. Swami doesn't want your money, go give it back. So these boys, they're smart ones, they would go directly to the trust and give it to the trust. So one of my duties as working in the trust and taking care of donor management was to identify donations from the students from anybody who is working in the trust, and ensuring that it is sent back to him, right? So he's not only insisting on a policy, but also creating the entire process below to ensure that the policy is implemented, right? So the thing is, there is no need, he doesn't expect pay back, but he expects pay it forward, right? We have to create that pay forward mindset, saying that, and pay forward is not financial, not economic, not anything material. Pay forward is the peace that we have found, the release that we have found. Can we unblock a few around us as we unblock ourselves, as we unlock our true value, as we unshackle ourselves from the vagaries of the mind, as we unshackle ourselves from the bondages of vasanas, the bondages of our past karmas, as we unshackle ourselves, can we help unshackle a few around us? Can we release some of their pain? I think that's the only thing. That's what Prashanthi Nilayam is all about. That's what Prashanthi Nilayam is all about. Let that clarity be there in our minds. Let us be clear. Clarity of purpose is what that is required. I think none of these politics matter. Nothing, never, and not in the Sai family. Not in the Sai family. Politics has no place in the Sai family.
Thank you. I have a question here which I'll reframe actually, and that will probably be the ending of this wonderful first session, I would say, like to call this, of the Sai Bhagavatam. I'm sure there are multiple chapters that are going to come along and we'll all benefit from it. The question was, if Swami was here, Swami was sitting with us, so I'll take that if off because I know Swami is sitting here. So what would he say to us all?
I think everybody knows the answer, right? He has spoken to all of us, is it not? Do you really need it to come from somebody else's mouth? No. Actually, we all know what he would say. He would only say, Divyatma Swarupulara, Prema Swarupulara. I think there is no message greater than that. I think that one word, that you are all sparks of the divine, Divyatma Swarupulara, Prema Swarupulara. You have no other Swarupa. Just meditate on those few aspects. I think we are good to go. There is nothing else is mattering. Swami has given 1,000 examples, 1,000 stories, inkoka chinna katha, and he has prepared himself. He has put himself through the grind. He has there was a period when he had spoken every day for 45 days, in 96, and I consider that as my personal training, because when he started speaking on the 16th of June 1996, we had come back from Vrindavan in his car for I had just joined my MBA. Every single day it was my duty to bring out the chair along with a friend of mine and keep it there, and then he would speak every single day for 45 days. He gave a discourse, and in one of the discourses he went to a pitch so high that the next day he had bleeding in his ears, right? He could not hear. He had only one. He could hear only from his from this ear, right? So if you see many of the videos, you'll see some. You have seen him do that? He does that beautiful, because this is the only good ear of Swami. As a child, when he was swimming in the Chitravati, and after swimming he was cleaning his ear, and a cousin of his had come and hit his hair. He had lost his ear, right? He has narrated this to us. He had only that ear, and that ear had started bleeding. The point I'm making is, he has shouted at the top of his lungs, right? Chanted, sung for us. He has danced around in the Pandari Bhajan group, and he has danced around as a child for 100 years, right? For 85 years of his life, he has done only that. All that jing-bang, all that drama is only to send that two messages: Divyatma Swarupulara, Prema Swarupulara. Right? All these examples are only meant for driving that message. If we can focus on that and see what aspect of our life does not align to that vision, am I really, is this selfishness really part of me? Is this, does it behoove of me, the Divyatma, to have this pettiness? Is it, do I allow that to come to my core? Am I genuinely, so petty that a lack of promotion puts me off? Am I really so inadequate that I'm craving for somebody else, for something else? All the Ashtanga yoga aspects, the asteya, the non-possessiveness, the not to aspire for something that does not belong to me, non-stealing, all those things. Anything else that comes is only to that message that my core should never be impacted. My Divyatma is never impacted. I think that probably is the only message that Swami would give, is it not, brother?
A big round of applause to Brother Satyajit. We will end today's evening's program with a few bhajans. We'll cut a cake for Swami on his 100th birthday celebrations. Following that, we'll have Mahaprasadam dinner and then make our ways home. Thank you very much, and Sai Ram.
Bhasmabhushitam Sai Chandrasekhara, Bhasmabhushitam Sai Chandrasekhara, Bhasmabhushitam Sai Chandrasekhara, Bhasmabhushitam Sai Chandrasekhara, Bhalane Trishuladhari Sai Shankara, Bhalane Trishuladhari Sai Shankara, Bhalane Trishuladhari Sai Shankara, Bhalane Trishuladhari Sai Shankara, Bhasmabhushitam Sai Chandrasekhara, Samadhan Priyakara Sai Shankara, Sai Shankara, Samadhan Priyakara Sai Shankara, Sai Shankara, Har 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 Shiva Shankara. Shankara. Bhaktivasa Sai Deva Sai Shankara. Sai Shankara, Sathya Sai Shankara. Sai Shankara, Sathya Sai Shankara. Trishulධාරි Sai Shankara. Bhasmadhoshikāni Sai Chandrasekhara. Swamagana Priyakara Sai Shankara. Har 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 Shiva Shambho Nanda Shankara. Bhaktivasa Sai Deva Sai Shankara. Sai Shankara, Sathya Sai Shankara. Sai Shankara, Sathya Sai Shankara. Bhasmabhushitanga Sai Chandrasekhara. Mandara Giridhara Madhana Manohara. Mandara Giridhara Madhana Manohara. Mandara Giridhara Madhana Manohara. Mandara Giridhara Madhana Madhava Madhusudana पार्वती पते
multiple devotees. It was that inner yearning that continued, and from the yearning over the lifetimes, that probably the blessing multiple devotees. It was that inner yearning that continued to do that. And from the yearning over the years, over the lifetime, that probably in that the blessings of parents, multiple devotees. It was was that and from the journey over the lifetimes that of it was that inner continue from the journey over the years, over the lifetimes that of the blessings, parents, multiple devotees. It was that inner journey and from the journey over the years, over the lifetimes that of blessings of parents, multiple devotees. It was that inner journey that continued through time. And probably yearning over the years, over the lifetime, that probably did that. The blessings of multiple devotees. It was that inner journey.
जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की जय। ब्रह्माभरणं ब्रह्माणि ब्रह्माण्डं ब्रह्मनाथं ब्रह्मेण तेन गन्तव्यं ब्रह्मकर्म समाधिना अहं वैश्वानरो भूत्वा प्राणिनामेहमासितः प्राणापानसमायुक्तः पचाम्यन्नं चतुर्विधम् ॐ अन्नं ब्रह्मा रसो विष्णु भोक्ता देवो महेश्वरः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति।
Sairam, and thank you all very much for coming and joining this wonderful satsang and making it a really true, heartfelt experience for us. There are a lot of people who have done, work in the background as always. Otherwise, such a beautiful experience, such a beautiful ambience couldn't have been created, and that has added a lot to our real, experience this evening. So it is just natural for us to thank those individuals. I would like to thank Brother Sathya, who has been right behind this since this morning, setting up the stage and ensuring that all arrangements are in place. Thanks a lot to the Swaminarayan Mandir committee and to Shree Gopal Bhaiji, who is again such a beautiful, wonderful soul, always in service, always supportive, always smiling. To our technical team, which is Partha, Rohit, Sakshi, and many other youngsters who have, and Sandeep Bhai, who have put together these beautiful, flyers and the registration links and all that. So they do a lot of work in the background all the time, purely out of love and joy. So thanks to them. And to the sound, systems, he runs a company, but he's actually a Sai brother, right from Balvika's days, Brindan. So it's wonderful to have him creating such a beautiful sound and environment. And to our video partners, Pasham, who actually, I think they must probably rename themselves as Passion, because that's how they really do the work. With such passion, they do work. It's wonderful. They, any programs that that is done for spirituality, for social causes, they are very much behind us, and we thank them for being with us today. And of course, what to say about our bhajan singers, who always give us such joy and then take us to tabla player. So have a wonderful evening now, and we have dinner served, so please take part. And I'm sure Brother Satyajit will be with all of us.
So those of you who want to go and say hello to him individually, you can. Sai Ram.